So my co-host is really starting to concern me with your predictions being so accurate. I'm wondering like what the heck you're like reading behind the scene or whatever, but
Crystal
you
ball.
are literally spot on. So last year he predicted that home prices would depreciate somewhere between 15 and 20%. And you know what they ended up at? 17%.
Here in the state of Utah, from the peak.
Nailed that on the head. Nailed that on the head. Like I'm actually really, really shocked and impressed. So today we are going to kind of get into a mini version of a longer video that we did talking about 2022 as a recap and what is going to happen in 2023. And most importantly, what you think is going to happen because your track record is impeccable. So,
Thank you.
All right, let's get into it. All right, so
on the recap, 2022 here in the state of Utah. I don't know your other states out there, or I'm not doing national statistics because I think you guys should be involved more state to state anyway. But essentially, from May to end of December, Utah dropped 17% on single family houses. If you add in condos, townhomes, we dropped 14%.
Mm-hmm.
Now that year over year, because prices went up from January of 2023 to May, we actually saw a 2.1% negative depreciation year over year statistics.
Yeah, so when you guys see that in the news, it went down 2.5, that's for the whole year.
That's for the whole year.
Yeah.
But at one point we were up 19%.
Yeah.
Or no, we were up 15%, and then we ended the year 2% below that. So anyway, that's 2022. Let's get into 2023. First thing, Michelle, is we've got to display some rumors of more crashes.
Yeah.
Specifically foreclosures, specifically comparing it to 2008. We get it. You guys want to compare that because historically they look similar.
Yeah, well,
they feel similar, but they're not the same.
Right, and it was so traumatic for a lot of everybody.
Yeah,
it was so
many
traumatic.
people got affected.
Yeah, so we're going to compare them apples to apples about how they are similar and how they're not. All right, so first is job cuts. In the last housing cycle, and just really quick, we have housing cycles over roughly 8 to 12 years of the ebb and flow of housing prices roughly. So the last one, 80 million job cuts, 8 million job cuts, and we have none with this one. So
let's skip down to subprime loans.
very prevalent in the last one and virtually none in this one.
AKA bad loans that were given to people, lenders that people knew couldn't qualify for the mortgage. They had to fudge some numbers, and so when those people couldn't make their payments, it should have been no surprise.
Right.
Like, wow, this person couldn't afford it in the first place, but we ended up giving them a loan. Not happening today.
For sure.
Everyone can afford it. Maybe you lose your job and then you can't afford it. But based at the time, you absolutely could have.
And it's a lot harder to get a loan too. All right, so 5-year cumulative to new home construction before the crash. We were at 7.65 million and now we are at 4.6 million.
Explain that to him. What does that mean?
That is basically we had builders overbuild before the last housing cycle, ridiculously overbuild. And this housing cycle, we are underbuilt. We do not have enough inventory and it's still going down in Utah right now. It's going down. So if the interest rates were low enough, we would see all these buyers come out of the woodwork because the demand's there. In the last one though, we had a surplus of it, so the demand was lower.
Absolutely. So we've got days on market or inventory on market, mortgage delinquency, home foreclosures. You guys can read that. I'm going to skip through these slides really, really quick because bottom line, foreclosures are not at the level even close.
Not even close.
To where they were. People are not losing their jobs like a lot of people anticipated at this point in time of the year. Distress sales are way down and they're going to continue to stay low, assuming 4 million people don't lose their jobs.
Right.
And we think that is a very good assumption. The Utah Department of Labor of Workforce predicts that Utah will add 35,000 new jobs in 2023. There was $5.2 trillion brought into our economy since the you know what. You know what.
Yeah.
And that amount of money is keeping people employed. It's keeping people from paying their bills or making them able to pay their bills. So don't be surprised when you guys don't see this mass wave of foreclosures that people want to make you think that is happening.
Yeah. All right, so inventory of homes rising from super tight conditions. So if you take a look at this, inventory is it's actually going down, specifically here in Utah, because we have so many sellers who are locked in at below a 3.5% rate. It doesn't make sense for them to sell, so they're staying put.
Yep, staying put. So expect inventory to get really low again. I'm sorry, but it's gonna happen. Builders aren't building right now. They haven't been building for the last 6 months. They saw the signs and they're like, oh crap, we don't want to build any more homes. So expect tight inventory to happen. 2023, what the people want to know is going to happen to prices.
Yes. So no housing bubble. So Justin, what do you think on this one? Do you think this is accurate? No housing bubble?
Yeah, based on all the stats we showed you guys, low foreclosures, all this stuff. Yes, prices will probably go down in a lot of areas in 2023, especially the first 2 quarters, but we're not going to see as much price loss as we did in 2022.
Okay.
And at least from the peak. And they're just, prices can still adjust, but it doesn't mean we're in a bubble that's actually going to burst and cause ginormous price drops like we saw before.
Right. Inflation is going to ease somewhere between 5% and 5.5 is what they are predicting. Justin, what do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be lower than that.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's going to be 4s. I could even see it hitting the 3s. So don't be surprised when that happens.
All right, mortgage rates to remain high, 6.5 to 7.5. This is my favorite prediction.
Well, last year back in March, I said the interest rates would hit 7%.
You did, and I videoed it and put it all over out there.
So you guys can find that. That was dead on accurate. The reason why I disagree that this is too high, and it's going to stay in the 6s and possibly 7s up until like May, June.
Yeah.
But after that, they will have news of good economic news, and they will slowly start to lower them. And what these guys are accounting for, and I don't blame them, is the Fed's rates will stay pretty high, but the banks are making less on the loans, and so they're the ones that are going to make this. And I guarantee you, by sometime in 2023, you will see rates in the low 5s, somewhere between 5 to 5.5. And I believe that's kind of where we'll end the year, is right around that range.
You guys heard that, and I'm so glad we got a 7% prediction on video. All right, housing prices will stabilize by Q3 to Q4. What say you?
Yeah, so depending on where you live, that's going to, I don't know your specific market, but here in Utah, James Wood, he says this. He says, worst case scenario, prices down about 5%. Best case scenario, prices are equal to 2022.
Yeah.
Like we don't go up, we don't go down. I like his prediction a lot.
Okay.
5% I think is not worst case scenario. I think that's kind of more most likely scenario. I think we go down somewhere between 3 to 5% for the year. Now, let me say that you'll see this on our videos in the coming months. We will probably lose closer to 6, 7, maybe 8% in value from January to June. That is likely. But by the end of the year, it's actually going to start to pick up. We might get some bidding wars. Buyers are going to start coming out of the woodworks more once they see these positive signs happening.
Maybe a mini 2021 in there.
And so it's going to kind of go in reverse. And we're going to actually be saying like, well, yeah, from June to December, instead of it going down, it actually went up.
To the opposite of
4% or 3%. And so therefore we will end the year down. Year to date total, January to January, somewhere around 3 to 5% is the most likely scenario in my opinion.
I love it. All right, and the next one is residential sales will be sluggish, 12,000 to 13,000 sales for Salt Lake County. What do you think?
Yeah, this one's less important to you guys because it just kind of affects how many homes we get to sell each year, but inventory is going to be low. And that's what this message is be prepared for tight inventory. Again, just like Michelle said, so many people have low interest rates. They're not going to be moving anytime until rates come down to a level that is more affordable them and worth it to them to make that move. And as a result, this is one of the reasons why the second half is going to look so different from the first half, is because inventory levels are going to get tighter. And when that happens, more buyers that were sitting on the sidelines are going to be like, is it time? Maybe we need to get back in. Maybe we need to get back in. And when a mass rush of buyers come in, and they've been sitting on the sidelines for what, 2 years now? A year now, solid. They are going to come in mass amounts. And when people start seeing inventory getting eaten up,
the bottom of the market will be over.
The bottom of the market will be over faster than you know.
Yes.
And these people will now be driving prices back up.
Yes, and we've talked about
because they waited
this.
too long.
Yes, and we've talked about this off camera. Like, we think it's coming. So we will let you guys know when Justin thinks that is happening. And we do have our longer version of this video, so make sure you check that if you want more details.
Yeah, if you're into stats and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot more graphs and stats in that one.
Absolutely. We will talk to you guys later.